by a fourth-degree felony, though he has since been released from jail and it's unclear whether he'll be pursuing any legal recourse. As for the canine officer, Ryan Speakman, he's been placed on paid administrative leave and the dog's been put in a kennel, and a 5-member use of force review board's investigating the incident and is expected to finish its report within the next week. And so in the meantime, as we wait to see what happens there, I'd love to know your thoughts with everything we've seen so far. And then Carlee Russell has finally admitted that, she fibbed, she pulled our leg, or to put it bluntly, she's full of shit, with her releasing a statement through her lawyer, which was read aloud by the Hoover police chief at a briefing yesterday.
There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client apologizes for her actions to this community. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, asks for your forgiveness and prayers.
The statement adding that she never left the Hoover area while she was missing, that she acted alone, and that she never met up with anyone. And the police chief says they're meeting with Russell's lawyer to discuss the case and that they're in talks with the Jefferson County DA about whether to press criminal charges. So we're gonna have to wait to see if there's that whole courtroom spectacle. But also, while, everyone has had many different emotions and feelings about the situation, nobody's angrier than Russell's boyfriend, right? This guy had her back from the beginning, defending her against speculation, telling people she was literally fighting for her life after getting kidnapped. And then even after all the super damning evidence came out, he still took her side, pleading with the public not to bully her, telling them to think about her mental health. But apparently her own admission finally broken because he is now her ex-boyfriend, and he said in an Instagram post, Carlee's action created hurt, confusion, and dishonesty. Myself and my family's nature was to react in love and genuine concern. We are disgusted from the outcome of this entire situation. I strongly feel exactly like you all, blindsided with Carlee's actions. And so I guess with all this news, the question I have for you is, what do you hope to see come from this? And then when you're dealing with celebrity and fandoms and you see fandoms fighting, usually it's between one another or at another artist. But with Doja Cat in the news right now, it appears that she's starting a war with her own fandom. Right, so this all starts with a series of posts and interactions Doja had with fans on Threads on Sunday, all of which now have notably been deleted. And these including one where a fan said they wanted Doja to say she loves her fans, to which Doja said, I don't though, because I don't even know y'all. And when one fan responded they don't know her either, but they supported her and got her where she is today, Doja said, nobody forced you. I don't know why you're talking to me like you're my mother. Bitch, you sound like a crazy person. And a lot of the friction can also be centered around her fans' choice to refer to themselves as kittens, which is kind of pretty par for the course with musicians and their fans. Beyonce has the Beehive, Taylor Swift has Swifties, Nicki Minaj has Barbs. Doja appears to not enjoy this kind of bit, writing, my fans don't name themselves shit. If you call yourself a kitten or fucking kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house. Also, at one point saying she doesn't like the term because it came up when she was an alcoholic teen. So there, a number of her fans noted that she ran a poll asking what to call her fans in 2020 when she was 24 years old. And so with all this, you kind of had one fan saying, okay, if you don't like kittens, what should I change my account name to? And Doja responded, just delete the entire account and rethink everything. It's never too late. Doja also calling out another fan for using her government name as their screen name, saying that is creepy as fuck. And with that, a number of fans have seemingly taken her message to delete their accounts to heart, or at the very least, unfollow, with Billboard reporting that she lost over 230,000 followers on Instagram since posting those sorts of attacks against her fans. And outlets like the LA Times noting that major fan accounts like Doja HQ and Doja Cat News deleted their Twitter accounts. The Doja Cat Brazil Instagram also announcing that it was taking an indefinite break, saying her pronouncements left us kittens very disappointed, if we can even call ourselves that, and saying we hope that Doja rethinks her actions as an artist. You also had Rolling Stone noting that all this comes as fans have recently called her out over her rumored relationship with streamer Jay Cyrus. And when Doja faced backlash for that, she told her fans she doesn't give a fuck what they think about her personal life and never will, adding, good riddance, miserable hoes. Right, and so all of this has resulted in fans saying things like, imagine telling your fans to get a job when they are the ones that buy your music, merch, and concert tickets. And Doja, you know it's been the kittens who have defended you these past years every time you do stupid shit. The least you can do is have some respect for us. But also on the other side of this, you have people saying things like, you know what, I find Doja Cat incredibly annoying, but at the same time, I'm here for someone actively destroying their own celebrity and also reminding people that you don't know someone because you enjoy and consume what they create. And that, in addition to others saying, it feels like Doja might be going through something. And so with this story, of course, I'd love to know your thoughts, but also too, I just want to let you know, I would never do this to you, but not because I'm a good person. I'm just a big believer in if you do anything very well, you shouldn't do it for free. Which is why if you go to DeFrancoDisrespect.com right now for $10, I'll give you a standard issue. You don't know me, weirdo. Or for the $200 package, I will spit on a camera lens and say your name in a disgusted tone. Or for $1,000, I'll just tell you to straight up kill yourself. I won't mean it, but $1,000 is $1,000. And honestly, if anything, it makes me feel like this is a missed opportunity for Doja. This is like posting feet pics on the internet for free. I don't know what the fuck it is to this. I don't even know about what I'm saying happening anymore. And then, if you think people hate when Jehovah's Witnesses knock on their door, that is nothing compared to when the IRS does it. In fact, this got so bad, the IRS just announced that their agents will, for the most part, no longer be making surprise visits to your homes and businesses. And that's a pretty massive deal because the IRS has been sending agents to knock on doors to resolve unpaid taxes or unfiled returns since at least the 1950s. However, recently, agents have been facing a growing number of threats to their safety. And while they've faced this type of danger before, right around 30 years ago, IRS agents were the most attacked federal law enforcement officers, being assaulted hundreds of times a year. These days, there's this mixture of political discontent and the fear of scammers putting these agents at risk once again. Some blaming Republicans for this, not just because they oppose the $80 billion that the Biden administration allocated to the IRS as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, but because reportedly they did so by fanning the flames of fear that the money was going to be used to shake down middle-class homes and businesses, with some even reportedly claiming that the IRS was going to spend that money to send armed agents to collect unpaid taxes. And so with all this, you had Tony Reardon, national president of the National Treasury Employees Union, saying, "The safety of IRS employees is of paramount importance, and this decision will help protect those whose jobs have only grown more dangerous in recent years because of the false, inflammatory rhetoric about the agency and its workforce." But again, it's not all politics, because you have Americans also having to deal with a growing number of scam artists who pose as IRS agents. And so the hope is that with this policy change, the fraud should be easier to detect, with IRS Commissioner Daniel Werfel saying, "We have the tools we need to successfully collect revenue without adding stress with unannounced visits. The only losers with this change in policy are scammers posing as the IRS." And so now, instead of revenue agents conducting tens of thousands of surprise home visits a year, that number will reportedly be dropping to just a few hundred, and those will only happen in unique cases involving summons, subpoenas, and the seizure of assets. And in the place of home visits, most Americans with delinquent taxes or filings are just going to receive a letter to schedule a face-to-face meeting with an agent. And then, it's not every day that our sponsors are actually the news, making headlines around the world. We've seen the CEO interviewed on CNBC, read about it in Forbes and the Wall Street Journal. They're everywhere on YouTube, and we've all wondered about it. I'm talking about Masterworks. Like, what is it they really do? Well, they've created a way for you to invest in multi-million-dollar artworks for a fraction of the price, returning tens of millions in profitable returns to investors like us. So thank you, Masterworks, for sponsoring today's PDS. And in fact, I've invested with Masterworks myself. And for anyone who doesn't already know, first, they buy the art with their own money, often privately to get a good deal. Pieces from superstars like Banksy, Picasso, Warhol. Masterworks qualifies them with the SEC in a process called securitization. You then invest in that painting on their site, and they take care of the legwork to resell it for you. And like with any investment, nothing is a guarantee, but over several years, Masterworks has built an impressive track record of 14 exits so far, and every one of them returning a profit to users. 10%, 13%, a sale for 17% just days ago. Even as high as 35% net annualized returns. And with over 750,000 signups and now $800 million in assets under management, the shares for each new painting sell out very quickly. But if you go to the link in the description, masterworks.art/DeFranco, you'll get special VIP access to the front of the line. And then, how are your favorite A-list actors responding to the ongoing actor strike? Amid this historic labor reckoning in Hollywood, this has taken over a big part of the conversation, especially as the high-paid A-list actors are not, the people struggling or the people that the guild are striking for. Those big actors actually represent just a small fraction of SAG, and the majority of members are just regular working-class people trying to make a living, which for many has made it all the more important to see those big names doing something. And many have shown up on the picket lines. You've seen Jennifer Garner, Jack Black, Hilary Duff, Daniel Radcliffe, America Ferrera. Jeremy Allen White also showing up when he's not calling the paparazzi on himself while he's doing push-ups in the middle of the street. Which, hey, if I look like that, I'd probably do the same, chef. But also, we've seen other big stars like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson showing his support by making a massive donation to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation, or with that being the fund that provides financial relief to struggling SAG members via an emergency assistance program. Something that's very important while you have studio execs saying, hey, we're just going to wait for these people to start losing their homes. That's when we gain leverage in the negotiation. Well, hey, we don't know the exact amount The Rock's donation was. We know that it was in the 7 figures, with the SAG Foundation's executive director telling Variety, "This is when we need our high-profile talent who can afford it, who are in a situation to help others." With the foundation's president also telling the outlet they hope The Rock's donation sends a huge message to other folks to do the same thing. And this, as we've seen places like Variety highlighting in a separate report some big stars who seem absent, with Variety noting that people like Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, and Rami Malek, who previously signed a letter telling the guild they were ready and willing to strike, have yet to show up on the picket line. Though with that, we saw in response a lot of people saying it's actually super reasonable to not attend a picket if you're uber famous, with people arguing it might actually hurt the cause or be a huge distraction for people that are ridiculously wealthy to show up on the picket line. Others arguing A-listers of that level being at the gates all the time would be a mess for so many reasons. And there are other ways they can help, like donating a fuck ton of money a la The Rock. But for now, the strikes continue. And then, House Leader Kevin McCarthy is threatening to impeach President Biden. While speaking on Sean Hannity's show last night, he discussed the House Republicans' investigation into the business dealings of Biden family members, in particular, Hunter Biden. Because for a while now, Republicans have been investigating several claims of financial misconduct. Claims including from 2 IRS whistleblowers who said that the DOJ improperly intervened in the probe into Hunter Biden's taxes by making it too lenient, as well as a reportedly uncorroborated FBI document they claim shows that Biden's family received payments from foreign companies. And these investigations, according to experts, haven't gained much traction, likely because the claims Republicans have made are still totally unsubstantiated. But despite that, McCarthy has now seriously escalated the situation, discussing various parts of the investigations and telling Hannity,
"If you're sitting in our position today, We would know none of this if Republicans had not taken the majority. We've only followed where the information has taken us. But Hannity,
Mr.
this is
Speaker,
rising to the level of impeachment inquiry, which provides Congress the strongest power to get the rest of the knowledge and information needed. Because this president has